and welcome to the Nancy Bluebird of Montana show. Today we are off Broadway on location at Steve Thorstenson's workshop. Steve is a craftsperson, ceramics. He's a potter, and he's one of the many artists that has displays down at the Missoula Art Shop, the co-op down on Higgins there. I've known Steve for quite a while, and I've always loved his work. I was fascinated by, first when I met him, he did a lot of frogs, like this one I'm holding in my hand, and this one's on his stuff. But he does so much others, and you'll see that a little later. And he does bird baths, and just recently in later years that I've known him, he's ventured out into even lizards, and he's right in front of me. You can see there's unfinished cups that he started. There's even a teapot over here with a frog on. We'll have to ask him about that if he's bringing that into the teapot show. But anyways, and the highlight, I think, for me in this show is he started doing birds. He has started doing birds within the last few years. So we're going to meet Steve, and he's going to take us through some of the more intricate patterns of how to go about making some of these pieces. And this is his livelihood, this is his living, and it is fantastic. I just love to see when artists take full charge of what they believe in and what they do. So sit back, watch, and enjoy. Well, here's Steve Thorstenson, and Steve, thank you so much finally for being on my show. It's been, I think I keep tracking you down, or you track me down, or whatever, but thank you for allowing me to do this.
My pleasure.
Okay, and like I told our viewers, that you're going to just go through some stuff and bits and pieces, and show us how you, as a potter, what I found out, every potter has their little different techniques and how they do it and stuff, So why don't you just go ahead and whatever you want to show. I know you got your paints back here and stuff, your wheels over here, So like I said, it's your show, so make the best of it.
Well, just kind of coach me along on stuff, and
I will
keep moving the best I can here. First thing I'll do is I'll make a bird. I'll make a bird, and then we'll paint one, and then you can kind of see how that works. This is a technique I've developed over the past year or so. I started making some of these different birds that I'm doing. This one will make a pileated woodpecker. Nice big bird, a little dramatic,
But I do see that outside you do have bluebirds.
I have some bluebirds, yes. We'll have to feature one of those here when we get taking a picture of some of this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we will be going out into the yard area, the garden area, and we'll be checking out. Now, do you have, out there, your bird baths, finished bird baths and stuff?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got a little bit of everything out there.
Oh, good. Yeah. So, you guys just keep watching.
Yeah, I just kind of work the body up in here. It's, I almost do it, I usually sit down and make about 20 birds at a time once I start. As you can see in the background, they do a deal, and it just kind of keeps working until I get what I want.
Now, do you find each one is it's its own because of probably the way you're working it at that time, maybe your emotions and stuff at that time and stuff? I know for me, for my drawings, they do that.
I see. Well, I don't know. I just kind of work on what I'm short of and what I feel like working on that day, I guess.
So how long have you had this studio?
I've been in here since 2000, year 2000. Took over from another potter here in town. Hal Matthew had this.
Good old Hal, man.
Good old Hal had this studio for a number of years. And I took it over in May of 2000, and I'm still here.
Well, this is great. This is, Now, for the more, what do I want to say? For the more, the people that, that like the real cleaning type people, the ones that are, fanatic about dust and cleaning and stuff. If you're going to go into pottery, you really can't worry about that, can you?
Well, you do keep the dust down as much as you can, because it's long-term exposure can not be good for you about those kind of things. But if you don't like a little dirt on your hands, you better take up something else. That's for sure.
That's what I figured. Yeah, because I remember when you were teaching a class outside, in Missoula, but, you got me really interested in it, and, in fact, I left a piece someplace. I had no idea what.
Do you have any of the pieces you made in?
I gave the first one I gave, it was 2 little Bluebird lovebirds, and I gave them to my daughter and son-in-law for their anniversary 1 year. So, yeah, I do have that. Most of them I gave to people, so. And another person, she just moved up at Everett Hills, and she moved down Bluebird Lane. So guess what I made for her? I made her a plaque.
Bluebird Lane, huh?
Yeah, so I made her a plaque.
So where's Bluebird Lane?
Everett Hills.
Everett Hill, okay.
So, and so. And I was into one plaque, but I just left it there. I just wasn't into it anymore. So, but. So what are we doing? Is this going to be the wing now?
Well, no. This is going to be I got to make it hollow so that when it could shrink and not crack, and you can fire it. It shrinks as you fire it, so it has to be hollow, or else it's going to crack. Oh. It has to have some place to go.
So you're putting like a filter in it?
This is a belly.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Just simply.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to trap this air in here. By putting it together, I'll be trapping the air inside, and then I can move the head around and stuff without the thing collapsing on it.
Oh, okay.
That trapped air in there kind of works like you're tying a balloon or something.
Okay.
And somewhat similar to that. Once I get it sealed, then it's basically.
That's a beautiful shape. And it's just a beautiful shape. So, now do you research any of your pieces? Knowing about the birds or knowing about the forks and stuff?
I study each one. I especially a lot of it, somewhat the characteristics, etc. But that kind of comes with time. But just to get the proportions correct. As nice as I can anyway. I like to work fast. I've always thought the clay work, better pieces are ones you can make pretty fast. It's getting to where you can make them fast is probably the hardest part.
So if people want to get a hold of you, is it probably better to go down to the artist shop then and stuff?
Yeah, I have some business cards in my booth and with all my information on that.
That's great. That's great.
Because it's.
And that's a co-op, of course.
That's a artist cooperative here in town. 16 members, and we take turns doing different duties around the place.
And do you work in the store? Is that one of your duties?
Actually, no, it's not one of my duties. My biggest job down there at the co-op is to recruit and consignment items, to show other things other than a member's work.
Ah. Okay.
And that takes a little extra time, so I I don't work the hours in the store.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of getting more used to what all the co-op is about, like the, and how it started and everything. So I'm still interested in how it works. So
Yeah, well, we like I say, we split the duties. We have a bookkeeper, and we have everybody has their little committees that they head up. And
yeah, Sue put me straight on that. It was committees, not a board.
right. Well, it's a board only in the sense that the membership is the board.
Right, that's what I meant.
We meet and vote for and Sue's our illustrious president this year, and she's doing a fantastic job.
She really is, yeah.
That's Sue. She can get stuff done when she needs to.
Now you're doing most everything with film. I mean, yeah. Excuse me.
In clay.
In clay.
Yeah.
But but what I meant was with your hands. Now do you take shaving instruments and stuff like that afterwards too?
Well,
with it?
I kind of right now here I'm going to put an eye in.
Okay.
With spent bullet casing, and like so. I turn it. I don't. Once it's done, it's pretty much. Once I'm done with it, I don't go back to it later on too much. It's all going to get done here, and then I let it dry to where it's all the moisture has evaporated out, and then I will paint it, which I'll do the next step here in a minute. I'll show you how I paint one of these fellas.
So I see that you were drying some stuff out on your table out there, and you can still do that while it's, warm weather and nice weather and stuff. So where do you dry it if you can't do it outside?
Well, I dry it in here actually. What I'm doing out there is glazing. I'm spraying glaze on, and I do it outside because it's well ventilated and none of the fumes and dust particles are. I don't have to run a fan and. In the wintertime, I do it in here, but if it's below freezing, I can't spray.
Right. Okay.
And that's how I apply. Actually, I don't use the spray gun with the birds. That's another. I can demonstrate a bird bath next, and then we can go outside and do that. So, see, here's where I'm putting some of the lines in on the piece.
These lines on this side for our viewers.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Lost my very important tool here.
That was my favorite tool in your group.
Oh,
That was one of my favorite tools in your group that I liked. Does each tool have a special name, or they're just tools in general?
I know the name of some of the tools, but I don't think about them in that terms. I just when I need a tool, I'll think about which one I need in my mind, and I'll go grab it. But the names of them, I don't know what you call them.
That's okay. And well, probably because you've done it. How many years have you been doing this?
I've been making pottery for 20 years.
Yeah.
10 years here in Missoula. The last 10 years I've been in Missoula. So that's where I'll set it now to dry.
I like the way you just cocked the...
Well, that's what I can do because of the air is trapped in there.
Right, yeah,
so
I like that.
I can move it around so they all can have a little different posture.
That's very nice.
So that one's there to dry, and so once it dries, we have this. And I've painted the bottom a black. Just put some dark clay so that it won't stick on the kiln shelf when I fire it. And this is a glaze. And I will apply the black glaze. Actually, I'm going to paint the red first.
Now, are these all acrylics?
No, well, these are commercial underglazes. These are colored with what they call a mason stain, and they're prepared commercially, so I'm not exactly know what they mix with it. It's some sort of binder so that you can spread it on, Paint would fire out and it would disappear in the firing. You can't use paint because it wouldn't be able to handle 2200 degrees.
No.
Whereas this stuff is. It's kind of basically is paint though, as opposed to a glaze, but that gets a little technical on difference there.
So, do you know anything about this kind of like the history, like where between the glazing that you put, in the other glazing, like we used in our class when you were teaching, and then this one,
They're basically the same. It's just different colors.
Oh, okay.
They're all, there's some technical differences, but bottom line is these are colorants that give different kind of sheens as far as lusters and stuff like that. But that's all. There's not big difference between what any of the other types of things, other than it has to be able to handle the temperature you're firing to.
So, what is your background like? I mean, what is your? You said you haven't been doing this all since you've been in Missoula, but you did pottery and stuff before. So where did you do that?
I grew up in Libby, Montana.
Okay.
And went to college here. Finished in the mid-late 80s, 86 or 7, and moved back to Libby for about 8 years, and then back here for 10. And various odd jobs up there, and but always did some of this type of thing. And then since I've moved here in '95, this is all I've done since then.
So it's getting to be a prosperous?
Well, I hope so. It's hard to tell when you're in business for yourself. You're always throwing everything back into it. And you hope one day it kind of rolls out for you. And
yeah, I hear that. Yeah. So, what colors will you be using?
This is a black. Glazes sometimes don't look the color they turn out to be.
Right.
The body will be black and white. Then the red and the yellow eyes, and I'll use the white clay as one color, where I won't have to paint that so much because it's just going to be the color of the clay.
Okay.
And
now, are there different colored clays and stuff?
Oh, there's many different colored clays, from white to a really dark. There's even some black clay. So white to black, various tones of brown, different textures, different what you call maturing levels. Meaning that some will mature at a lower temperature, and some at a higher temperature. So there's a lot of different kinds of clay.
Now, I just had a thought. What if you put something in the kiln and it comes out and it's like all of a sudden maybe somebody would have been, especially a novice, would put something in there and did the wrong color or something, or did the right colors but didn't bring it up hot enough, it would probably come different, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be different. But in a case like that, you could just put it back in and fire it to where it's supposed to be. You can make that adjustment. If you fire it too high, you can't take it out. What will happen is if you have a colorant that matures at one temperature, if you take it too high, it'll melt off. It won't be able to handle the higher temperature, and then you got some trouble.
Okay. So let's go back to the colored clays. Now I know as I'm seeing the frogs over there, near your wheel and stuff. Now that's a completely different color. But you do put a glaze on the frogs, right? For green, because there isn't a true green or anything.
You can do it. You can do what they call a body stain. But it's not very common, and it's very expensive.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Because you are, it's a lot cheaper to put one coat of paint on it than to have the whole thing saturated in a color. The colorants are expensive, relatively expensive. So I've never really known anybody who works with body stains, but it happens. You can do that, but I'm not that familiar with that process. I just know that you can order colors of clay.
That would be very expensive.
I believe most of that colored bodies is usually cast, but I'm not that sure. I'd be curious to find out someday, because that could take a step out of my process if I were to get involved with that, but I don't. That's somewhere down the line.
And if it was affordable.
Yeah, right.
So, where do you get your clay?
I buy my clay out of Helen at the Archie Bray Foundation. It's they have good clay there, and it's close, because shipping, of course, can be, a lot for clay. So you want to get something that's easy to get.
So who got you started in all this?
Oh, I don't even know anymore.
I mean, did any of your relatives or family into the arts, the crafts or anything?
Oh yeah, I had friends, and my father liked to do some things in art. He would make cottonwood bark carvings, which I used to make a lot of a long time ago. Carvings out of cottonwood bark. That's kind of how I got started in this whole thing. And let's see. I'm going to grab a little bigger brush for the bigger.
Now, are those natural hair brushes?
Some of them. I have both synthetic hair brushes and natural hair brushes.
It just depends on the piece, or does it depends on what you like?
I'm just kind of. I just started when I started making these birds, about a year ago was when I really started using a lot of different brushes, and I'm still determining what I like better. So I don't know if it matters that much.
So now you've been doing frogs for almost as long as I've known you.
Sure.
And what ventured you out to lizards and birds?
Well, you make enough of one thing, it's time to make something else, I guess. And the birds were, originally I started making the birds because I had a show at the co-op, an extra show. We take turns being featured down there, but you're supposed to make something you don't make before. I haven't made before. And so I did this show of birds a year ago, and ended up now I make a lot of them. So
yeah, and in fact, for our viewers, we will show you that end of that show. We have the clips. That's how long it's been taking me to get him on the show.
Oh, you have some clips of the
show
that you have archived somewhere.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I kept the film.
I see.
So that's another thing for my viewers. If you're thinking about you want to do something, if you got a craft or anything, and you want us to come out, and if you have it shown someplace, by all means, don't think, well, it's over with, I can't do it. Give me a call, 207-2159, and to go ahead, we'll set up an appointment, get my crew down to wherever, and we'll do the still part, and then later on we'll go ahead, set up an interview, just like I did Steve here, and you got your show. So nothing's impossible in the world of art. Wouldn't you think so?
Well, that's what they say. I wouldn't know.
Well, I think if you have the ambition to do something.
Yeah, that's usually half the problem right there, is having the ambition. Determination, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
This is... So you can see it takes quite a while. It takes probably as long to paint them as it does to form them.
And how many do you review my memory. How many you say you do about every day?
Oh, well, I'm not sure what I do every day, but when I do sit down to make some, I usually do a run of about 20 of them. Just because I get the process down, and once I get going, I can make them faster and they look better than if I just were to make one and then make another one, different one right after. It's easier for me to work that way. I like to. A lot about pottery is process. So you get into a process. For instance, I'll sit down and throw 20 salad bowls at once, and I probably won't make them again for a long time or until I'm out. But it kind of helps me create, in a sense, moving from one to another that way.
So, what do you do for your leisure time?
Leisure time? Well, I don't know. I go out and enjoy the outdoors.
Well, that's good.
And all the things we like to do here in Montana.
We have that ability here. We got that freedom right now still.
Someday I'll take up bowling, but not yet.
I had to retire my bowling arms.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah, had an accident.
Oh, bowling accident.
No, just a couple of accidents.
Oh, I see.
With the arms, so.
I see. Yeah, I suppose that wouldn't be fun if that hurt.
No. But.
So anyway, that's now that's ready to go to 2200 degrees. And then it's finished.
Okay.
So that's one of the things I do, those birds. I can show you now how I make the bird bath. Now I thought I'd show you how I work on these bird baths. These bird baths are something I've been making for, well, over 10 years. And I wholesale them all over the country to nature stores, that kind of thing, Wild Birds Unlimited stores, that kind of thing. Came up with the idea one day when I wanted to make a bird bath, and I said, well, it should be a certain shape, and then I thought, well, how to make it more interesting? I started putting animal tracks in them. So I just flattened a piece of clay on the ground, and then have my little tracks, and I just run them across like so. And then I'm going to need to get...
Can we show our viewers the tracks?
Sure. Let's see. Where did I put them?
I think you just slid them down.
Oh, okay,
here.
yeah. I make these out of clay. I just emulate... This is a heron track, and this is a duck. And I just use little stamps and come across with different tracks to finish them. Okay, so then I'll just take a mold and flop it over and let it dry.
Good. That's a simple project.
That's a simple project. Then that's when now the work begins. See, that's pretty easy, but let me squeeze by you here.
I knew I'd be in the way.
And then I just paint the tracks in with a little bit of color and spray them outside and put a chain on them, and there you have a bird bath, a watering hole bird bath.
Oh my goodness. But you do say you put animals on them sometimes.
Yes, sometimes I put a frog on the
There we go.
I put a frog on the outside like that.
Yeah.
And spray some colorants on it, and there you go. So that's one of my processes.
And they just put a chain on it.
And I put a chain on it, and there you have a bird bath.
It's fantastic. Now, have you ever made bird baths with stands and stuff?
Not really. I do make, I make a style such as this in which I put on a steel pole.
Oh, okay.
And then I have also leave a spot where I put a piece of driftwood. And it makes a perch. And we got that.
Let's go. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to be painting these tracks, and just to make them stand out a little bit.
Now you're into cups lately, it looks like.
Well, those are for the teapot show, you know.
Oh, is it a matching set?
Yeah,
Ah.
I do make coffee mugs, not too often, maybe about 20 or 30 of them a year, just so I don't forget how to do it.
There you go.
But,
these are darling.
thank you. Hopefully they'll turn out.
Now, are these finished? Are you're just waiting to...
I got to put them in the kiln now. They're ready to go
That's
to the
what I
kiln.
meant, yeah.
Yes, they're... I sprayed a glaze on the outside there to make it a little more contrast and stuff. And it'll be a little noisy, but I'll turn it on and we'll just spray it so you kind of get an idea how
That's
I do
what,
that.
I'm just going to set aside a little bit so you can do it, because I don't want to get
Okay.
fumes.
Clean the air gun out. So then that's ready to be fired.
That is fantastic.
And then if you want to, I don't know, it might be kind of hard to get the camera in there, but I show you, I'm going to put these in the kiln. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, that sounds good. I just was looking at this little guy.
Oh, that's one of my face pot series. I make a number of those every year. This is a little jug.
That's kind of cool.
Thank you.
Cute.
I make coffee mugs and planters, a number of different things with the face pot series.
I guess really, if anybody really wants to see anything, if it's open to the public, they could just come down and see what you're doing, and maybe even ordering something.
Yeah, I don't have store hours here or anything.
No, but that's what I mean, you know.
Yeah, if they wanted to call me, I usually let people come over and take a look at stuff.
Yeah, it sounds great. Sounds great. Okay, so let's see your kiln then.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to be load up a row of birds here. For their final step before they get ready to be out in the public.
Now, Steve, I see that you have two kilns. Just the size is different, or are they different other ways?
They're just sizes different. Yeah, that's it. It's just good to have one in case one of them breaks down or something. Have an extra one.
But it's also good to have two big ones, because then you can do a lot more, right?
That's right. I can have one cooling and one firing at the same time. So
Right.
I can.
Oh, so you put a layer.
Yeah, and then I'm going to put a layer on like so. Ooh, that's taller than this other one, so I'm going to put a little.
So, Steve, have you ever ventured out into butterflies?
No, I have not ventured into the world of butterflies at this point. Maybe someday, you know. Okay, then I'll go out and get some more stuff and just put it down in there. Okay, that's good.
So, how long does it take to process something in a kiln? Or does it matter on the pieces or whatever?
Well, it generally takes about 8 hours to fire this kiln.
Okay.
You don't want to go too fast, or you can blow them up.
Oh my God.
Some of these pieces are, in this particular load, are a little thicker than I usually make them, and so you want to go slower on that too, if they're thicker. So we got to go a little taller here.
So, do you get books and stuff to model stuff to get an idea and stuff?
Yeah, I go through books and I use the internet, look up different birds or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever. And then once I make a bird, I usually try to find it in the wild.
Oh, so you're kind of like a bird watcher too.
You bet.
Yeah.
We do it all around here, Nancy.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I've got a good set of binoculars too, and I used to live on the river.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, down by the Clark Fork.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I love to watch the herring, and then when the herrings leave, then the eagles would come down, you know, and then, or no, when the ospreys left, the eagles would come back.
Uh-huh.
Because the ospreys and eagles, I found out they don't, they're rivals.
They're rivals.
Yeah, they are rivals. So.
Okay, now I'll put...
And the osprey is really from the hawk family.
That's right, it's a fish hawk.
Yeah. So, and then when the eagles came down, one time an eagle came down and the osprey took the fish out of the eagle. I couldn't believe it. I thought...
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was lucky to see something like that.
Yeah, I wish I had a video camera then.
You were at the right place at the right time, weren't you?
Yeah, right off my balcony.
Okay, I'll go get some more stuff.
So there's not really any general difference. I mean, you could put like a big bowl in there and that would take the whole thing.
That's right. I could make one piece and fill up the whole thing if I wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if this one might fit up here. Nope. I might just skip this one this time. Always adjusting, see?
Mm-hmm.
See what'll fit in there. I'll go back and get some more. Might be kind of good to see the kiln fill up, huh?
Sure. Something that you viewers out there probably won't be able to see all the time. So, it's really great, Steve, that you're giving us this opportunity. And you almost have to be a steady, sturdy hand when you put them in there, too.
Yeah, that's for sure. You can ruin a good day's work if you don't be careful in this step.
Yeah. Have you, have you gone into doing any sketchings or anything on your own, and then create something off your own sketchings?
I don't do a lot of that. I don't do a lot of that, no. And we got to put this in so that we can, when that melts, then it kilns over with.
And what is that?
It's called a pyrometric cone, and when it bends over, like when it does this, then it's time I can turn the kiln off.
Okay.
I like to watch. I have automatic things that'll do that, but I like to watch it by eye sometimes and make sure it does what I want it to do.
Yeah, sometimes you can't always
Trust
the electricity.
Yeah, there's always something out there to ruin your day in the pottery world, that's for sure.
Power hazard, power breakage, anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of demons lurking out there to try and ruin my days from time to time. Well, that's all I have for that right now because I have to do some more glazing. But
Okay. Well, like Steve said, he really doesn't have any favorite. I think every piece of his is a favorite.
Well, thank you very much.
So we're going to show you the area, some stills. We will show you the clip from a year ago when he had his display, featuring his display. What do they call it? The monthly display.
Yeah,
the monthly feature.
The featured show.
Yeah, down at the artist shop, and then we'll sign off. So, Steve, it's been great.
Oh, thank you very much, Nancy.
And of course, I run into you all the time.
For you.
Thank you. I was only teasing. Thank you.
You bet.
This will go down in the office on my Bluebird rack.
Oh, good. Sounds good.
Okay, well, thanks again.
Yes, you're
and it's been a joy, and I, like I said, you're also at the People Market too.
Yeah, I sell down there during the summer months.
But just keep looking for the birds, the frogs, and the lizards, down at the artist shop. And like Steve says, he has a card, and they can, give you all the information. So until next time, keep watching MCAT and keep watching me. Bye for now.